Hey y'all, Chris here, aka Rufotris, and today I've got a pretty long video for you. So instead of doing a two-part video or doing a premiere, I decided to just put this video out and let people watch it as they will. So some might skip through, some might put it on double speed, and that's fine. It's a pretty long video, so I hope you enjoy. About 2/3 of it is just showing off the awesome pieces that I cut, and the first little bit is going to be some music and me cutting the pieces, such as this one that'll be in a future video, but you'll see where I cut this one and then I'm not done with it yet, but I'm putting a little point on there, so that's a sneak peek at a future video. Anyway, enjoy, and yeah, I guess just note that I was wearing my safety equipment and going pretty slow with the saw. The diamond blade doesn't cut skin. I was wearing the gloves, but that's because it was an oil saw, and you should have seen my arms afterwards. I'd pulled my sleeves up and I had oil all the way up here, and I had to use like baby wipes that luckily I brought with me to like take a little baby wipe shower, and got home and showered the rest of the oil off me. But you'll see that saw just sprayed oil everywhere. But all those cuts that you're gonna see me do are sped up anywhere from 2 to 5 times speed. So I'm not sitting there moving that quick. Pretty much all this video coming up right here is like super sped up. Alrighty, so in just a moment, I'm gonna look down in the kitty litter there. That's where I put all my little pieces, right there. And we're gonna see how those cuts came out. But first, I'm gonna bring you all around here and we're gonna look at the other cuts I'm about to do. So this is a piece of, I think what was supposed to be yellow feather, or some sort of jasper, maybe not yellow feather. Mexican crazy lace, I'm gonna cut those 2 tabs out. And then we've got a few geodes from Tyler for geode tracker and collector. I'm gonna get into those. And then these are some Crawley Ridge agates. Those nice Crawley Ridge, those are from Margaret. We're gonna cut a few of those open as well. So, let me prop y'all back up on this saw, get a view of that saw, and we'll get into it. So again, this was all left by a member who passed away. And I brought my black light. I forgot my Geiger counter. It is sitting on the counter at home. I'm so upset at myself. I really wanted to get the Geiger counter out today and go around and see if anything here was spicy. Next time. Promise y'all, next time we come, we will look for spicy rocks. But for now, just seeing if anything really pops in the UV. I just found one. It looks to be a synthetic gemstone. And let me show you that. Stuck it in my pocket for now, so I don't forget to show you, but take a little look at these. Yeah, nothing really popping in the blacklight here. All right, so I've got a few I haven't cut yet. I guess put some gloves on. We'll cut these last few. I'll be done for the day, and then we'll get down into that and look at all those geodes and stuff that I just cut. That one had some kyanite powder in it. I can see it looks like banding in that one. Yeah, I cut a lot of stuff, so let me finish cutting the last few things and we'll flip right over to inspecting it all. Alrighty, so I'm home now. I brought all those goodies home. I'm gonna wash them up here and then show you what I got. But first, I wanna show you this that member who passed away left behind and see if anyone can tell me what these 2 items are. They're really interesting on the blacklight. Okay, my lapidary friends, so here's what I need from you. First off, ignore those pieces that are gonna be in one of my other videos. Might already be out before this even. But what could these be? Let's look at this one. It looks to have a natural crystal structure. The cloudiness and the fracturing in there looks very natural. But yeah, I'm saying that one's natural. It could be a lab-grown crystal. Maybe I'm wrong. This one, I'm pretty convinced has to be lab-grown. No inclusions, it's very perfect stone. But the color is what's throwing me off. It's a very yellow-orange. And then look at it in the blacklight. This is crazy. I better put them separate because they've each got their own amazing color. Ready for this? What is that? There we go. That's the real color you're seeing right there. The camera got a little weird for a moment. Very orange. It's not bright like that. It's like that. Ugh. It really doesn't like this UV at the moment, but what is up with these? These are so crazy. Alrighty, so we've got this stuff that we cut up back home. I've got it rinsed off. I've got to go pull my saw out, and we may add that in at the end. We'll see if I get my saw out today when I cut these two. I'm not sure that I will for this video, but still need to cut those two, but here's everything else. I cut all these Crawley Ridge agates in half for Margaret, and then one of them I slabbed up into a handful of pieces here. And even the pieces that came right next to each other, like this, it's crazy how much they change. This one broke apart, and it's one of these other pieces too. But anyway, it's crazy how, I think, yeah, it's this part. You can almost see how the pattern is similar right there. But just the difference, the thickness of the saw blade being about that thick, there's how much change was in between those two pieces. So it's really hard to match up the cuts and find the one that went with the previous cut. That's off a different one. The thing is, this was the other end of it, or maybe it's this end. This one might have gone here. Oh, either way, check out that wild banding. That's pretty cool. Let's get some of these wet and look at them a little closer. Little jersey pocket. Very cool. Great colors, great banding. The Crawley Ridge agates are awesome. If you just heard that noise, that was my neighbor. They're always super loud. Loudest neighbors ever. Cut this one into a butterfly wing for her. I saw it and I was like, oh, those two sides actually look pretty cool and equal. And she said to cut them in half, and I wasn't thinking. And I told her, I messaged her, I was like, I just started cutting and going crazy, and I like slabbed two of them up, not thinking about it. And didn't just cut it in half. So this was supposed to be two halves for her. But I think it actually kind of came out cool like this because those sides don't match up as well, because it was these sides that went together. But like, you could make that into some butterfly wings. Like, look at that. Put a little rock in the middle, Margaret, and those would be little butterfly wing Crawley Ridge agates. I think that'll be pretty cool. Little butterfly. All right, turned on my phone light. That looks a little better. It's gonna give us a direct glare in the water, but oh, check that out. Look at that micro banding. Look at how tiny that is. I love the details in that tiny banding. That is so cool. Look at that. It is so tiny. Oh, look up here. Looks more like a orbicular jasper, brecciated conglomerate or something. Oolitic. One of those things, but it's all splotchy. It's like a bunch of little tiny bacteria colonies or something looking like that. Like, that's cool. Wonder what it is. Just a plume formation in the agate, maybe. Like a plume agate. Does that look kind of golden there? Some quartz reflecting in it. Well, let's move on and look at some of the other pieces. Those ones are pretty cool. Like I said, make a nice little butterfly wing with that. Angel wings. Look at that. I don't know, that actually looks like an angel. There's the head, there's the wings. Just the wing. like a praying angel. Okay, so some of the other ones that I cut had some crazy, I mean, they all have crazy banding because they're crawly ridge agates. But the color, banding, I'm just gonna shut up. Let's just listen to music. This one might be the ends of the angel wing. Yeah, you can see the pattern matches up there. So, it's one of them that I started to slab and I was like, oh no, I'm not supposed to slab it. But honestly, I'm glad I did. It's pretty cool. I told Margaret, and she'll see this too, and if she was unhappy with the cuts I did because I messed up and didn't do them all in halves like this. I mean, most of them I did. And there's still the other two I need to cut. And she said I could keep some anyway, so I'll polish some of those slabs, but I told her I felt really bad that I didn't follow instructions clearly, and could replace one of these if she needs or wants. I have one or two other crawly ridge myself that I will happily give up. Wow, that one's got some crazy bending. It's like a sun right there. Big ol' sun. Wavy hills. Agate picture. Look at that crazy tight banding. It's all wavy, crazy. The crawly ridge stuff is very cool material. This is the other one where's the end piece? Oh, here it is. So I just took one slab out of this one. It quickly, you can see here, the angle, how it starts to sharply shoot inward. So it goes what, like this? It doesn't seem right. Yeah, there's the sun. Okay, so like this. And then it started to sharply shoot inward and down. And we lost a lot as it came in like that. There's about the thickness of the saw blade. So you can see how I actually only got the one slab out of this piece. Again, didn't cut it in half because I messed up. That was one of the ones I did first. And it was at this point, after cutting those first three, I had like a voice in my head just screamed. I was like, no, Margaret said cut them in half. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And you can see the part like a few minutes ago in the clip where I was cutting, where I was just so excited. I looked, I was like, oh my gosh. And I cut more, and I cut more, and I cut more. And I just started slabbing them up and going nuts with it. But yeah, I was after like that third one. I took like the one slab out and I was like, oh, she said to cut in half, not slabs. I messaged her. I told her how bad I felt. And I was like, I'll replace your agates. I'm so sorry. So yeah, sorry, Margaret, but they're beautiful cuts and I think they came out wonderful. And I'm gonna cab those pieces up and send some back to you. You said I could keep some, so I'm totally going to. But I'm gonna cap a bunch of those up and send them back to you with your obelisk tower. Speaking of which, let's look at that. Okay, so as I was just saying, let's look at the obelisk. Oh, you know what? I guess we've only got 3 more of these to look at. So let's just finish up the Crawley Ridge, look at the last 3, and then we'll look at the tower that I'm gonna replace for her, which will be on a following video. By the time this video is out, it may already be polished and done. I may or may not have done it live. Not sure, because I cannot tell the future. If I could, I'd be a rich man. Some nice colors reflecting in that druzy, and it's very, very dense. There's only one little pit in the middle. That could polish up pretty nice. And it's just got some wild patterns in here. Check that out. Nice. So some of these were, what's the word I'm looking for? Pretty fractured, like this one. This might be the one that the other end crumbled. There's one of these that like the other side of it crumbled and it came out of the saw, like this side fell apart into like 5 or 6 little pieces. I'm sorry, I'm trying not to be shaky, but I'm holding it really close so the smallest movements come across really big on the screen. That one's got a big quartzy center that's just super loose. Big old quartzy boy. I actually tried. I thought I was deep enough. I don't know. When I first came up to it, I thought I was going to cut into it and just expose a little bit of that so we'd have a hole right there with a little druzy or something. But I think it ended up better this way. Just seeing how not solid that is, I think it could have crumbled just like the other side did. Anyhow, let's take a look. We'll save the geodes for a minute. Got a train coming by. Very loud, sorry. But here's the tower. It was glued. Has a big old crack in it. You can see right there. It broke and cracked. There's still the crack there. So what I'm going to do is put it on my flat lap and flatten it just up to there to keep as much rock as we can. The thing is once we go up here to that height on the crack and we come straight over, it is unfortunately going to cut into this guy, which is beautiful. It's going to come just into the bottom of it to level out that whole crack, because it's got to go this high. And we'll flatten off the whole thing there. And it's going to come up into like there. But she wanted this fixed into 2 towers, so it's going to be a really tiny tower. We'll just leave the rest as is, flatten the bottom on that. And then this one, I'm going to put a new point on it here for her. So I'll make it similar to the other one. I'll probably just take a measurement of this point and yeah, do something similar. So she'll have a little point and a big point. Let's take a little closer look at this though, because it is beautiful. Look at that, they just look like tiny thunder eggs. So let's, I guess before we get to the geodes, because those are what Tyler sent, we'll stick with what Margaret sent. Now this I didn't slab up all the way. I got really bummed. I flattened the bottom and flattened the top so I could get it in the clamp. But then the clamp still wasn't working very well. And what happened is you could see, I had that little countdown, 3, 2, 1, break. You can see right there, it broke along that crack. Now I did see the crack before cutting. We knew it was there. That crack was totally visible. You know, and it's still visible in the next layer, but not only that, it goes all the way through It's really hard to show it here, but that right there is the crack. It goes all the way through, all the way around, comes up through here, down in there, and the thing is when I get close up, it is filled in with a soft material. It's got gaps in it. It was not re-agatized, so it is not stable. So I think every single cut that I take off of this will break right there, just like this one did. So I'm gonna maybe try and figure out stabilizing it first. I don't know if I can try and, I'll see if the club has a vacuum. They have a vacuum chamber, I think, but maybe I can like inject some epoxy in there and put it in a vacuum chamber. I don't know. I'm not sure if there's a way I can actually stabilize this. Maybe try and force some rock glue in there and let it sit for a couple weeks before I cut it. I don't know. I was really bummed though, because this is a very beautiful picture stone that she sent. It's got a lovely color to it and a great little kind of rolling sand dune at the bottom. Some red cliffs. Depending on how you want to look at it, you know, it's pretty glorious material. And it chipped pretty bad there, so this side, not even worth trying to glue and salvage. It's just got a huge gap in it. And at the bottom. So unfortunately, I think what's going to happen with this piece is this will get turned into a little cab. Then I'll probably take an oval out of here, just like here, so it's half and half. A little mixture of colors there. And we'll do something with what's left up here, but I think we'll make an oval cab out of this right here. See how that looks? And yeah. Oh, the other cool thing with this, it did, when I cut into the bottom, I flattened it, like I said, to try and fit in that clamp on the saw. But when I did, it actually exposed some dendrites. You want to give me a focus here, camera? Thank you. Check that out. So that runs through the cracks. Whatever filled in the cracks, some sort of like manganese, made some cool little dendrites. Real up close view of them there. You can see running along the crack. That one's right in the crack. But there's this kind of shell. Look at the skin. You can see the eggshell skin on the outside of this picture jasper. So you would think, oh, it's going to have that dark color inside of it. But it's just that little thin shell. And once you get inside, there is some of that color in there, kind of. Not quite. It does get dark up here, but look at that. Right under that is this color. So the skin of a rock can be very, very deceiving. Alrighty, let's bring it in. I mean, you can kind of ignore these. I'll show the geodes in 2 seconds. I'm just really drawing out the geodes. This is something for a project I'm doing. I needed a couple pieces. These are going to be the first trial pieces, but it's some tiger iron that Tarnished Viking wanted for some custom work I'm doing for him. And yeah, we'll get more info on that later. Alrighty. I've drawn it out long enough, but I'm going to do it even longer. So here's the cabs before the geodes. I'm just teasing y'all now. There's that one that was some sort of jasper. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be... Oh, it doesn't look as yellow anymore. I don't remember where that one was from, or if that was the one that was supposed to be yellow feather. I forget what yellow feather looks like. I probably should have looked it up before doing this. Yeah, that's some sort of jasper that was given to me. And this crazy lace. Gotta love the crazy lace. Oh, and I guess we'll pull out the black light at the end. But let's get into those geodes. So this was a big one that Tyler sent. And he had a feeling it was going to be a dud, because a lot of these ones are. And it kind of was. But I haven't even gotten it wet and looked at it yet. So let's see what kind of colors might pop out of here. Oh, I guess that's somewhat of a lie. I rinsed all of them off and washed them off after the kitty litter, but I didn't really look at them or inspect most of them. Huh. Kind of boring, though it's got a little something going on down in here. Yeah, overall not the most exciting geode cut. Womp womp. Okay, had a quick adjustment. And so then we've got this. And yes, I called it kyanite. And I asked Tyler, said it was the qualinite, whatever the other one I put right there is. I'll put it on the screen, but don't exactly remember how to say it right now. This one's got an interesting little pocket of crystals. So yeah, it's got a lot of that white powder covering everything up, so it's not overly exciting. Oh, let's check that out. Come on, look at that little crystal cluster sitting there. Oh, that's a nice little cluster. So yeah, we'll clean all that powder out and see how it looks. I was telling Tyler, I want to experiment with stuff like that powder and see, you know, there's those little crystal growing kits that you get. You see people do that come from, you know, Walmart or whatever, just the kids' crystal growing sets. And they're really cool, but they're mostly just salt crystals. And I was wondering, like, what if we found some other minerals that are water soluble? Like, would that mix with the salt and make some different formations in the crystals? Would it make the crystals change structure somehow? Would it even form into the salt? Like, I don't know. Things that hopefully I will learn later on in my geological education. It's got a nice little crystal pocket. This side's a little grody. Not really sure what's going on in here. Look at that. What is going on? All that stuff. What is that stuff? Weird, it looks like it's full of pebbles. This side's pretty much clean, a little bit of stuff there. But this side is like full of what looks like sediment and pebbles, which, how would that even happen? This thing was sealed. How would something like that even happen? That's a weird one. My focus is being really weird today. It's kind of being a pain. Yeah, that one, kind of a dud. So we got two really cool ones, and then we got two kind of duds. But overall, a lot of good cuts today, a lot of fun stuff that I'm gonna have to work on in the coming weeks. So I'm gonna go cut these, get that done and out of the way today too, while it's not freezing cold outside and I can actually put water in my saw. Alright, so that was a lot of fun today. I got to show y'all a little bit of the club. I took a bunch of clips out because there was a lot of noise, there was other people using the saws, there was people doing the silversmithing there, and that's more stuff that I plan to show y'all in the very near future. But for today, that's gonna be it for this one. We're gonna, next time, cut up some of those cabs that I slabbed up out of the Crawley Ridge agates and some of the other stuff. I might polish one or two of the geode bits, and of course, first off and foremost, we are doing the obelisk tower and the tiger iron. So that tower for Margaret and the tiger iron pieces for Tarnished Viking are the very next things I will be doing on my wheel. May or may not be the next video though, because what you guys don't know is some of those most recent videos I've had coming out are flip-flopped by like 2 weeks. Like I film one, and then I film another one 2 weeks later, but I put that one out first, and then the one's like 4 weeks old at that point comes out, yeah. Anyway, they've been very out of order recently, and I'm like going back watching them, I'm like, huh, it's confusing to me too. So I'm gonna try and be a lot better about when I film something, it'll be the next one out in order. But right now my editor has like 4 other videos in it, and I just kind of on and off edit one day and then edit another one another day, and whichever one ends up being done first is just the next video I put out. So I've had a very weird lack of structure recently. Also, my partner's been working from home a lot. So the last 5 days, I have not had access to this office where I do all my filming, my rock stuff and everything. And today's my first day back in here. I've got the next 3 days of having this office all to myself. And so I plan on getting a lot done when I'm not at school and work. Anyway, I appreciate y'all watching today. Big thank you to my Patreon members, Angie, Jessica, I almost said Jessica and Jackie, Jessica, Lisa, LXR, and Julie. Oh, almost forgot. I appreciate y'all being my Patreon members, and I hope you enjoy your little packages that should be coming pretty soon in the mail. They've got my custom goose print, so look for that blue, I'm just gonna show you, hold on. If you're a Patreon member, look for this in the mail. It's the goose. It's my goose. Okay, I couldn't figure out what was going on. My phone kept turning off, and every time I hit record, a little thing came up, and I just hit not now. I thought it was an iTunes terms and agreement thing. My phone was full on storage. I filled my 500 gigs. So I had to go delete a bunch of videos real quick. Anyway, I was trying to say, look for your goose in the mail if you're a Patreon member. The print that I did, goose on both sides. It's my custom print I made in art class. I had it turned into some bubble mailers. So your package should be coming very soon. Anyway, I will see y'all on the next one. I'm losing my mind. It's early in the morning. I'm just having my coffee. I haven't had breakfast. About to actually go to school, but I wanted to film this last little bit to get this video out. Bye. Hey y'all, Chris here, aka Rookhound, Rooted Rockhound.